Season 3 of Spongebob is one of my favorite seasons in all of his many seasons. It's home to episodes like No Weenies Allowed, Snowball Effect, Midlife Crustacean, the Camping episode, and Chocolate with Nuts. But there's one episode in particular that I've seen various opinions about, and that's Party Pooper Pants, or best known as SpongeBob's House Party. I personally think it's one of the best episodes in Season 3. Not many people agree with me though, putting this at the worst of Season 3, and I want to throw in my 2 cents about why I love SpongeBob's House Party. Hello everybody, Humble here, and welcome to the HumbleCartoons channel. Let's dig in. Party Pooper Pants starts with the host, Patchy the Pirate, but I'm gonna cover his segments later in the review, because Patchy does interrupt the episode a lot, so I'll stick that to the end. SpongeBob runs into a bargain mart, catching a soup can, I guess to get the fastest time to buy a soup can, I guess. SpongeBob races to Lou the cashier, asking Lou to sign his book and mentions how drained he has become working there. After SpongeBob sees a plan your own party kit, Lou offers to give him it for free if he leaves. I'm probably gonna mention this a lot, but I really like the scene because of Lou's reactions. Like Squidward, I think Lou offers a voice of reason to SpongeBob's weird antics. And in execution, it's funny to watch Lou's "I don't care" reactions. The scene then cuts to SpongeBob planning the party, inviting guests, and reading out an extremely long list of events at the party to Gary. He invites so many people that even someone from his kindergarten class is invited. Honestly, wouldn't you remember if SpongeBob was in your class? Because I sure would.
Who the barnacles is SpongeBob SquarePants?
I believe you went to kindergarten with him, dear.
Kindergarten, huh? Oh yeah, SquarePants.
God, that'd be so annoying. SpongeBob waits impatiently at the door for all of his guests to arrive. First is Patrick and Krabs, who have small talk until SpongeBob hands them name tags to avoid awkward situations. I have no idea why SpongeBob doesn't realize that Patrick and Mr. Krabs have met before, but I'll let that slide. Come on, SpongeBob, you're 3 seasons in. Squidward, Larry, Mrs. Puff, and various other people show up, and here's where I have to stop supporting this episode. When SpongeBob leaves and everyone starts having fun, he gets angry that they are not following his schedule, and yells in a way that isn't called for. It's not funny or anything, and everyone at the party is confused on how SpongeBob doesn't know how to throw a party. You know, you gotta wonder what that plan your own party kit really said, because we never really see what it actually tells SpongeBob to do. Anyways, this part isn't fun to watch, and seeing SpongeBob being this mean to his friends like Patrick and Squidward doesn't make sense for his character. SpongeBob goes outside to get today's paper to read the newspaper comics out loud, but when he tries to get back in his house, he learns that he's locked out. Watching SpongeBob try to get back in his house and fails is karma in my opinion. And it's really funny to watch. Even though it's really creepy seeing that Larry has no problem about rummaging through SpongeBob's medicine cabinet. I guess he's living like Larry. Anyways, I feel that SpongeBob works as a good antagonist in this scene, and yes, it does catch you off guard the first time you watch it, and it did for me too, but rewatching it again, I found him getting locked out, trying to break back in, and getting caught by the police is great karma, and I felt that it saves this episode. Plus, this is where the phone and the punch bowl scene came from, and that's just, well, memorable. I can understand why SpongeBob isn't an antagonist a lot more, because, well, it's kinda hard to root against the main character of your show. But this is from the 3rd season, and the creators can try new ways of writing characters, and I think this works. SpongeBob gets caught by the police and arrest him for not inviting them to his party in a very hilarious scene. I'm surprised the plan your own party kit didn't say anything about inviting cops. The one thing that the kit doesn't talk about. The next morning, SpongeBob finds his house a wreck. And, well, just watch.
In a bunny outfit. Oh yeah, the door's locked. Good thing I keep a spare key under the mat.
Wait a minute. There was never a mat before. This reminds me of those newer Fairly Odd Parents episodes where Cosmo and Wanda just lose their wands because the plot demands it. Or in Penny Foolish, where the quote-unquote penny that SpongeBob found is brown in all of the Mr. Krabs flashbacks, but later is revealed to be a green dollar bill. It's just a lazy way to end this episode, and I felt like it could have been done better. Maybe SpongeBob could try to open the door and Patrick opens it. Or he could have just used the tunnel he dug earlier in the episode since all of his guests have left his house. At least the rest of the ending is on a good note. Patrick congratulates SpongeBob on his party and how much of a hit it was to SpongeBob's friends. This doesn't affect my opinion on the ending with the mat really, but at least it helps to end this episode on a happy note instead of SpongeBob just being sad and how he got kicked out of his own party. Oh yeah, I almost forgot about Patchy. Patchy opens with a ton of jokes, like my personal favorite.
Hey, get off my lawn!
Introducing his weird guests and SpongeBob lighting a fire underwater. Again. I love the way this opens up with so many rapid-fire gags and a mix between live action and animation. It's really eye-catching and it kept me wanting to watch more because even if one joke didn't land, the others can balance that. Patchy's house party continues and like SpongeBob, doesn't understand how to throw a good house party either. Like SpongeBob, Patchy has a dance mat cleverly named the Peg Leg Dance-O Happiness. Potty hires the Burn Brains, a puppet bird-style band. I don't know how any of Patchy's guests find this weird, but Neptune's there too, so who cares, really. In a hilarious way, Patchy gets blown out of his house and crashes through all the street houses before slamming into a pole. The style is very cheesy and reminds me of effects like Cinemassacre and backyard filmmaking in general. It's also just funny seeing Patchy slam headfirst through a bunch of houses. Patchy comes back furious and kicks the bird brains out. Now, you could argue that Patchy is being a lot like SpongeBob, being mean-spirited and only doing what he wants at the party, but since it's done in a slapstick way, I don't really find it annoying and the comedy lands well. Plus, the only time he yells is at the band and after he's flown through all those walls. Plus, he was never seen as the good guy like SpongeBob. He got his comeuppance. Oh yeah, I also forgot the song Underwater Sun. I personally really love this song. Sometimes I even watch this whole episode looking forward to the song. After a really poor attempt at a one-man band, Potty switches his flute with TNT and Patchy loses his head. Or everything but his head, I guess. Now, with a barrel and some sticks for a body, his segments end surrounded by girl bird puppets. Wait, what? Overall, I really like this episode and I put it at the top of season 3. As for SpongeBob being a jerk, I feel like there's a reason that they made him so jerky and made him the antagonist. While yes, sometimes he can be really annoying to watch, Squidward's, Lou's, and Gary's reaction as the voice of reason in this episode, I feel makes this episode really funny. And SpongeBob gets his comeuppance at the end too. You could say this was done way better than Choir Boys. I don't mind that SpongeBob is being a jerk because he isn't written as the protagonist. And it's not like his guests at the party are mad at him at the end. So, to compare this to Choir Boys, even though SpongeBob is the antagonist in both, in Choir Boys, he doesn't get any comeuppance, and he is seen as the protagonist or the good guy, unlike Party Pooper Pants. And I'm not trying to say that this episode is good just because it's better than Choir Boys, because, let's be real here, all episodes are better than Choir Boys. But I think it's a good episode to look and see how to not write SpongeBob as the antagonist. As for Patchy, his segments are fantastic. And other than the Lost episode and Shanghai, this is one of my favorite appearances of Patchy. I'm not going to get into why I love his segments so much because I'll get to that in a further video, but I feel like without Patchy, there's just not enough content to make this episode a special or a hit. I could take the Patchy segments out and call this review over, but in my opinion, I consider Patchy segments to be part of the SpongeBob episodes as a whole, whether they hinder or enhance the episode. And for 2 reasons. The first is, Patchy is obsessed with SpongeBob, and sometimes they even cross paths like in Truth or Square or SpongeBob BC. So they are connected. And second, I at least have never seen Nick air SpongeBob episodes without their Patchy segments, if they have any. But what do you think? After this, if you still think Party Poop Pants is a meh or bad episode, that's fine by me. Your opinion is your opinion. See y'all.